Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we're working on our drive shaft. So this is the drive shaft that we took out of the car. So as far as I know, everything's original with it. I'm going to be replacing the U-joints just because it's one of those things while it's here. Might as well. I've never done U-joints before, so this is going to get interesting. They look pretty easy. You know, you got your shaft that goes into the trans right here. So obviously before I install that, I'll put some lube and everything on it. And then I need the little collar pieces that loop around the U-joint, connect onto the rear differential down here. And I don't know where those are at. I took them off and I thought I put them in a bag, which I'm sure I did. I just don't know where. So it's the starter. No. What's that? Nope. Alright, so my bag of parts, I may have to throw them away. I know that I was going to refinish them, but they're really crusty. So maybe I toss them instead. Not a big deal. Let's see. Running low on light. Sorry, fellas and ladies. I forgot to charge my rechargeable light last night. And my camera light is also out. So this might not be fun for you guys. Anyway, so looks pretty simple. Basically, all we do is we are going to clean this up really quick, and you take a pair of pliers. These little snap rings, I think is what they're called. I don't really know. Actually, it's going to be quicker if I just throw it on a drill. So I'm going to get out my little brush here, throw it on the drill, just clean all this out a little bit so we can actually get to it. And I might take it outside, that way it's not all over the workbench or anything. All this dirt and grime of the years. And I think you can just use a pair of needle nose on these guys. Let's see. Those are tiny, normal size. There we go. I think you can just get that just right. Press these two together. Probably gonna fly out and hit me, which is not ideal. Alright, come on. Alright, cool. Easy as that. Alright, cool. So let me go ahead and just clean all these up while they're on. It's going to be a little bit easier to use a drill and hold it. And then we're going to be getting these U-joints. I'm sure the auto parts store, grab whatever they have on stock if they have them. And I'm sure it's going to be fine. Just a nice, easy stock replacement. I don't know if they're different on like shaft-wise or anything, because you know where it goes. I think it looks standard. I don't know if like this bore is different than this size or something. Really not sure. So we're gonna find that out. Hopefully they're not. I'm not really planning on labeling them or anything. I probably should. I'm gonna be probably kicking myself later, but it is what it is. Let me get you guys up on a time lapse, get the drill going, and we will get all this kind of cleaned up in the U-joint sections. And once I get the U-joint off, we'll clean off the drive shaft. This is aluminum, I believe, from the factory. Looks like just a fence post, but it is not rusty or anything. It was a little bit, so I did knock it down just a couple little spots, but for the most part, I mean, it came out looking pretty decent. So no point in sanding that down, making it all nice and shiny when it's gonna be under the car. So we'll get to it. Next day here, guys, and we got the U-joints out, as you can see. So this was the one that was giving me problems because I had the Zerk fitting stuck. So it was stuck on like this edge here, so I couldn't get the angle to get that cap off. So if you're gonna do this yourself, get the Zerk fitting side out, you know, because if not, it's just in the way to where it was impeding. So to be honest, I didn't really know how to do it, and I just started smacking everything with a hammer, and eventually it came out. So just hit it all brake clean really quick. So that's it. We're gonna go to the auto parts store and order some new ones. Welcome back to the channel today, guys. It's been quite a while since I took out the drive shaft. Finally got our new U-joints in. So I ordered these just off CJ's. They were pretty cheap. I think about $15-ish a piece. So I got a front and rear, and I had to go through and get the part number and actually label them. So for the front one, if you get this brand, it's the 1200, and then the rear is the 1201. And these are just universal, OE Nothing special. Yeah, they do come with the new snap rings, and then the U-joint itself. Get that guy out of there. So yeah, I mean, it's not much to it. I did get out one already and open it, and it came pre-lubed around all the needle bearings and everything. So the way this works is basically you take off your caps, you slide it in without the caps on, you know, both directions, and then you just take the caps and the caps go in from the back. Some of the things I've read is throw a little WD-40 on there to help slide the caps on. We're going to see if that works or not. I can't imagine it's going to hurt. And then we need to find our little collar bolts, little U-bolts essentially, that connect this to the drive shaft, because I don't know where those went. So I thought that I cleaned them up, and I put them with all my other bolts that I've taken off so far. I haven't lost anything yet. Taking the motor transmission out and you know, getting everything replaced or fixed to this point. But I seem to have lost those, which I don't even know, to be honest, exactly what those are even called. So they might be in the trunk of the Mustang. Sometimes I put stuff in there. If it's something small, I think I might end up losing. Or I'll put it in my little magnetic dish here, but I didn't do that this time. So leads me to believe I might have actually thrown them away. Hope I didn't, but not looking good. But anyway, so we're going to start on the rear by getting this guy open. I don't have my tripod with me today, unfortunately, so we're doing a little kind of all over the place. And doing this all in one hand is not going to be fun. Alright, got that opened up. Down a towel just so it doesn't pick up any things. We lay that out. Doesn't get any little things on it. Perfect. So, looking at this guy, it looks like all of the caps are potentially the same in regards to, you know, each side. But I want to check and make sure. Some dudes just take off. Oh. That little rubber piece comes off. Alright, cool. So we're going to do that. I kind of just want to see. They're not the same. Oh, great. So the smaller ones are in this orientation, left or right. So, you know, I feel like that's going in too easy. It should be pretty tight from my understanding, so it looks like the bigger side of the rear probably goes in the drive shaft. Ooh, I don't know, that's definitely not going to fit. That's too big. Let's see if it fits the front. They're the same size or not. It could potentially fit. Yeah, oh yeah, I definitely think it's a smaller one then, because that does fit in there really nice and tight. So, we're also going to take the front one, I'm assuming is probably going to be size different too. So we're going to take one of the bigger ones. I'll get off there. Oh, these aren't pre-lubed either. Good to know. Let's see if that fits into the tail shaft. No. So the front ones are probably all the same size then, which isn't that big of a deal. I was just going to see if that would eliminate where everything's at. Yeah. Okay. Let me go actually under the car. I'm going to grab probably the small one. Actually a big one, because I think the big one will go in the differential. And check that out really quick, and then I will report back to you guys. So it's pretty simple. I mean, you just kind of put it in there, and you know, just use your rubber mallet, a nice spot to beat these in. And then I'm just going to use some assembly grease that I have, or I don't remember exactly what it is, this red grease I have, and I'm just going to pack these full. Luckily I have this nice bearing packer, so should be able to do it somewhat cleanly, hoping so, because I ran out of gloves. If not, we're just going to get messy. So let me go underneath the car and try out one of these guys. I'm thinking the bigger ones go on the differential side of the car. So let's go see. And then just, you guys really don't want any, honestly, trash or anything up in the needle bearings themselves. So obviously just kind of cover that. So let me go out to the car really quick and I'll be right back. Apologize about this camera angle, but we are back out at the car. And you guys can see there, that fits about halfway with that big one. So I do think, in fact, the big one does go on the outside, and it fits this, you know, the curvature right here really, really well. Aside from some nasty grease and stuff that I need to wire wheel off. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the big one. Big side goes on the Driveshaft side. Okay, so we're on the rear end here, guys. Probably take off the wood ring. Let's do that. Let's get dirty, greasy. All right. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna take and try and pack these bearings full. Let's make sure move you guys back over here real quick. Awesome. So we're gonna pack some of these bearings, at least a little bit. I don't really think we need to put it in there like we normally would when we're packing bearings. You can't really get both sides. So I'm just gonna grab some grease, get some on my fingers, try and grease that up pretty good. Grease up the shaft pretty good. Probably going a little bit heavy considering this has a Zerk fitting, but you know, I'd rather just do it now. So we got the top. Make sure that everything's all nice and greased up. And we're gonna clean this up too once we get done. There's honestly a little too much, as you guys can see. I'll go a little bit less maybe this time around. As always, guys, first time doing this, so this is kind of just what I think I should be doing after doing some research and everything. So I'm sure that there's better ways to do it. We're just giving it a shot. All right, you can see, guys, we got a ton of grease, so probably went a little too heavy, but it is what it is. Oh, that's weird. These ones are already greased up. Oh, the one side is, not so much this side. Interesting. Oh, the inside's nice and greased up. Alright. Well, I don't know why only half of it was greased up. As far as I know, too, it doesn't matter in terms of different color greases. The grease I got here is red. The grease that was in there is more of a clear color. Hopefully it doesn't matter. I don't think it should. I'd be very surprised if it did. And then I do have the grease gun and everything. Once this is all installed on the car, then I'm going to go back in. I'll hit these Zerk fittings and get it all nice and clean up. And I think our biggest problem is going to be these Zerk fittings being in the way. So I'm going to kind of see which way this should go, or if I want to service it. I think up like that's going to be fine. Move you guys back over. Get the camera adjusted. Falling off my little workbench. There we go. Some WD-40. I thought I had some in here. Okay, and what I read was just throw a little bit kind of on these rings here, and I don't even know what these rings are called, to be honest. guide it in there a little bit. Sweet. So we're going to take off actually our smaller side caps. Take those completely off. And I want to do it like this. I should be able to service it. And I'm just going to try and press that in. There we go. At least there's something. Alright, cool. Now, I've seen different guys do this different ways. You can beat it, which is what I'm going to start with. Just with the rubber mallet. Actually, not a rubber mallet. I don't know where it's at. That's going in pretty good. Socket, and you probably want to do this in like a nice corner that has more support since you're beating on it. If you do it in the middle of your workbench, it's probably not going to work as well, just because it's probably going to flex unless you have a nice one. Getting in there, not too bad. So now we're going to go ahead and use the socket. See, there's a groove where the snap ring fits underneath, so I know this side's good. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a snap ring in now on that side. And what that'll do is it'll allow me to get this snap ring in, go back from the opposing side. I'm hitting this way, and that'll catch up against the snap ring to where it's completely seated. We should be fine. Can hope. Anyway. Wow, this thing is definitely more difficult to take them out compared to the old one. Might have to get a little flathead and then little stubby guy. So my pliers have a little bit of a point. That's kind of what's giving me the hold up, is I'm gripping it too high up on the pliers, which isn't allowing me to get it all the way in. There we go. See, I moved when I was grabbing the snap ring to the very end of the pliers. I don't know if you guys can see, it has little teeth on it. And I tried getting, way up there as much as I could. Now you guys can see it's in. It's not seated 100% of the way, so I just heard it kind of click when I was pressing it. So that looks good to go. Now what we're gonna do is pull this drive shaft out of the corner, flip it. You see this side isn't quite in all the way, so now I bet see how much room I'm leaving between the end of my pliers and the snap ring, and that's honestly probably gonna be too much, so we'll see. There we go. Yeah, it's too much. I need to back off a little bit. So even try and get closer to the end. I mean, you guys can see that. I mean, I'm literally on the last tooth, I think, or very close to it. Oh, she slid off on me. So it seems to work to get it easier if you lay it flat on something and you kind of grab it that way. That way you're much more flush with the end of your pliers there. You can see that one just went right in. And that corner kind of clicked in. Awesome. So that's it. I'm going to do that for the other sides as well. I know everything's seated as it should be, so we are good because we hit it with the opposing side. It looks really good. I mean, it's just a U-joint. I'll never really see it, but feels pretty good. This drive shaft I know is probably toast too. I think this portion's supposed to actuate. Mine doesn't, but we're gonna run it. You know, these were, like I said, about 15 bucks a piece, so at least get the car up and running. So the back's done. I will be going on and doing the front. Honestly, putting them in was easier than taking them out. I'm surprised by that. So yeah, we should be good. I am worried about this Zerk fitting though. I don't think there's any way to get around it. If that's in the way or not, I just don't know. I don't know the best orientation to put a Zerk fitting on, you know, for service and getting it out of the way for everything else. I'm just not entirely sure. So, cool. Everything looks good. One thing I'm looking forward to is to see if it's even on the cap and everything, and it looks pretty even from this side to that side. I know I don't have the best lighting in here, but it looks pretty dang good. So yeah, we should be solid. I'm gonna try and hit the top of this, I think, even with the snap ring on once or twice, just to make sure that we are all fully seated. But yeah, I think we're pretty solid. I want to see if that moves it at all, if it does anything. I wouldn't think so. Okay, just curious. Sweet, so I'm gonna do the front off camera, and then whenever we get back to installing all this in the car, I'll let you guys know. Front's gonna be a little bit more fun because we get to put the tail shaft back into the transmission, well, the input shaft, I'm pretty sure. Isn't that what this is called? The transmission input shaft, pretty sure. But I'm gonna do the same process, throw some WD-40 and everything on there. Oh, you can actually see, guys, on this one, see there's that groove where that snap ring goes. So dummy proof because you get down there and it's good to go. But anyway, so yeah, I'll be doing the exact same thing for the front, except for we'll be getting all four sides done versus the just two, obviously. But same process, should take probably about 15 minutes. Really not too bad. Whenever I get all this in and I'm ready to put the drive shaft back inside the car, I will get you guys probably on a time lapse. I don't know, it's nearing about 90 degrees Fahrenheit every day here, so my phone doesn't like being out in the sun, so it overheats and gets some weird issues and everything like that. So maybe just a time lapse and we'll go from there. I do know I need to find those two U-bolts though, so wish me luck on finding those. But I'll update you guys soon. Just a quick update. I went ahead and checked these caps. Take this one off. And the front looks a lot easier because it fits as it should in both. So I don't think the fronts matter. They actually look like they're the same size. So try to do it one-handed. And you can see they're the same size. So I went ahead and tested them both out every which direction, and they are all good. Here we go. And the front one's greased already. All of them are greased. So yeah, we're gonna call that good. Just get some WD-40 and we'll get going. So here's the rear one on. As you guys saw, everything went nice and smooth. Front one, I think they sent me the wrong one. I cannot get it on. It can't go in any further. Brought out here in the brick, try and hit it. It's not going all the way in. Needle bearings came out, and I can't even get a snap ring in there. So I don't think this is the right one. Or even if so, all the needle bearings. I saw a couple of them fly out. Which is weird. But you can see I have a couple of needle bearings right here. So I'm sure more fell. So I'm gonna order a new one anyway. And then it came with 2 snap rings and then 4 of these rings, which I don't understand why it came with these versus the snap rings. So I'm gonna go ahead and save the snap rings out of this pack. Probably get a new one, a new U-joint. I'm just gonna go to the auto parts store. Probably not tonight, tomorrow, and hopefully theirs will be a little bit more normal. So with that, I'm gonna call that a wrap for now. New day here, guys. We are back on the front drive shaft, our U-joint, and we got a replacement from the auto parts store, and all 3 sides went in really well, except for this last side here. So I got a big C-clamp, and I was trying to clamp it in, but it's still not going in. This is supposed to be straight. Actually, there's a little cheater pipe there. Yeah, I don't know why. We still have this gap right here, which isn't allowing this cap to get all the way in to get a snap ring. I don't understand, because all the other ones fit fine, and I took the caps and I tried them all on. They're all appear to be the same. They all fit. So, and this one fit good on this side as it should. So I don't know what's going on. Very, very confused. And this one was like 30 bucks, so that kind of sucks. I'm gonna try and keep cranking away, but I mean, I think my C-clamp is, I don't know if we'll get it off now. So yeah, it's a Dorman product, and they don't fit well. So that's 2 now where I've had issues. So, oh, it's a Duralast U-joint. And that's the rear. The rear works perfect. Here is the G&B universal joint in front. So at this point, I'm thinking if it's 2 of them aren't fitting, I'm thinking it's probably me, not the U-joints themselves. But I got the rear one in, or the rear one in, no problems. So that's why I'm a little confused. Yeah, I may end up seeing if there's a drive shaft shop around me, and maybe they can look at it and get one in there. I couldn't imagine it being too much for them to throw a U-joint in, but yeah, very confused about it. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research and see what's going on. Maybe it depends on the transmission you have. I mean, mine's an automatic, and when I talked to the guy at the auto parts store, I got the one for the automatic, for the output shaft or whatever, for the trans. So I don't know. I'm gonna do a little bit of research, and hopefully I'll be reporting back to you guys. This might be one of the few times I take it somewhere, because I just don't know. I mean, this thing isn't even budging. So got the snap ring in on this side, no problems. And this side is, I mean, it's just not going. Unless a bearing is stuck in the way, like a needle bearing, but that's not even the width of a needle bearing. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of research before I start doing stupid stuff and making it worse. I think I'm doing something wrong. So let me go ahead and jump around on the internet, and I'll update you guys hopefully with a complete drive shaft here soon. Welcome back, guys. So remember how I was confused about this U-joint? Well, I took it over to a local shop to me, and they went ahead and got everything pressed in. So a couple things he said was we dropped a needle bearing, and to prevent that, he put a socket on both sides to work against each other. That way it wasn't dropping a bearing essentially. And he put it in there for me, so let's put the snap ring in, and we should be good to go. We're back to the U-joint, guys. I'm sorry, drive shaft. And I couldn't find the U-joint little bolts, so I went ahead to the parts store and got these guys. They're just universal, and they should work. It says it fits forward, so that's actually kind of perfect. So I'm hoping that these work, no problems there. And then I just opened this one up. Obviously you need two to get the nut size, which is a 1/2 inch. And then I got my other snap rings for the rear end side of the drive shaft. And earlier, I think I was called an input shaft or output shaft. It's the transmission yoke, slide yoke, or whatever it's called. I couldn't think of the name. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that, get it put in the car, and then we'll be able to put the car into hopefully gear and park and stuff, which will be really nice to actually have all that working. And then I think before we start it, I'll just have to address the wiring, timing, some spark plug stuff, some issues with the headers because they're still touching. Unfortunately, I even bought new spark plug wires and then these new 90 degrees, and they're still touching the headers on one side, so I don't know what to do. Might just run it, see what happens. Probably just burn them up a little bit. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. So we're getting really close to being able to start it. So let me go ahead and get that drive shaft out, get you guys set up on a tripod, and then you guys can watch me complain for a little while I try and put that thing back in. So we are in, guys. Drive shaft is looking good. I can actually turn it now, and it seems like it's locking up in gear, which is good. I greased up the transmission yoke, and everything went together, I mean, just as good as it could. So now what I'm going to do is get my wife out here. We're going to shift the car through the gears and see if the park is actually engaging. And if that is, then we're going to call that a win. And then we will have to keep continuing to get the car ready. As you guys saw, we had exhaust hanging and everything, so I need to get the exhaust up. It's just in the way. Never really was secured all that well. I first did it, and I mean, it worked, but now I know how to weld a little bit more comfortable. I'm gonna try a few other little things, maybe make a few little exhaust mounts or something in order to actually get it to hold a little bit better. So we can get that knocked off the list. We still got to knock off the wiring. We still got a ton to do. So it's a start, but really good progress. Yep, so we're gonna go ahead and drop the car, and then off camera I'm just gonna make sure everything works. We're gonna shift it into gears and everything. If anything interesting happens, I'll make sure to pick up the camera and let you guys know. But if everything just works as normal, then I'll end the video here. And with that, thank you everybody for the support. We're getting some comments, some helpful tips and tricks. If anybody has any of those, please leave them in the comments below. That way, if anybody finds that these videos along their Mustang restoration journey, they have all the help that they could possibly get from the community. So, really want to keep assisting them as much as we can. Thanks, guys, and keep following. And if anything interesting happens and we shift it through the gears, I'll let you know.